A very good morning, dear students. Welcome to e-learning classes of Sacred Hearts of Business Studies. Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have discussed about IPR, that was intellectual property right, its components, its obligations, its different types including copyright, patent right and trademark we have discussed. Dear students, today in our 36th lecture, we are going to discuss the role of small business and the different assistance provided by the government for the enhancement and for the development of small scale business. So, firstly, we will start with the role of small business in rural India. Initially, we will discuss why the term rural India have been used in a significant way. The reason behind using the rural India word over here or the title over here is that still a very big lot of population, still a very big lot of people lives in the rural area. So, if we compare the rural and the urban area, then more of the population is residing in the rural area in comparison to the people living in the urban area, and that is why a special title have been given, that is the rural India. Another thing, the condition of rural India is becoming pathetic due to some of the components. So, specifically for the enhancement of the rural areas, rural India, the small business have contributed or is contributing to the development. See the what are the different points showing the importance of the small business. The very first, that is the employment. We all know that every year a lot of people move from the rural area to the urban area in the search of employment. So, if we talk about the small business, then small business used to provide the employment opportunities to the people living in the particular area. See, in this, small scale industries are labor intensive. What is the labor intensive industries? The industries which employ more and more amount of labor and least amount of machines. So, they provide additional employment to men and women. Next to agriculture, small business constitutes the most popular occupation of the people of India. The firstly, it is the agriculture, but after agriculture, it is the small scale business that are providing the employment opportunities to the people of India on a very large scale. They also provide the employment opportunities to the agriculturists remain idle for a certain period of time. Why? Because we all know that agricultural is a seasonal activity. During on season, they used to work in the fields, in the farms, but during off season, there is no work to do in the fields. So, the small scale business, the small scale enterprises also provide employment to those agriculturists who are in the off period. Now, the next one, improves economic condition. By providing employment opportunities, the small scale industries provide more income to the people living in the rural area, which improves economic conditions in village. Obviously, when there will be the employment generation, there will be the generation of the income as well, and the higher amount of income will enhance the economic condition, will improve the economic condition of the people who are living in the rural areas. It also contributes in solving the problem of distribution of income as well. Whatever the problem we are facing in our country, that is the inequality among the distribution of income and wealth. So, somewhere, somehow, it is contributing to the solution of that particular problem. Next, promotion of artistic and creative sense. What is the artistic and creative sense? It is the sense, it is the tradition, it is the customs that we have learned from our ancestors. But in the urban areas, somewhere somehow we have forgotten all these artistic and creative sense that was initially major employment over in India. That was initially the identification of India. So we have forgotten it. But if we talk about the small scale business, then they are promoting the artistic and creative sense. See, small business setup in the rural areas provide scope for the promotion of artistic achievement and creativity that has been suppressed in the rural areas as well. We all used to hear that very common example over here is the urban heart. After a certain period of time, there used to conduction of a fair over there in which the things especially that are handmade are to be sell out. So it is the example of making the artistic and creative sense be alived. See further, it also helps in preservation of culture and tradition factors. Obviously, if no one will practice these cultural and traditional activities, no one will learn these skills. Obviously, after a certain period of time, these traditional and cultural activities and practices will be vanished out. But in the small scale business, these activities are still practiced, and as a result these artistic and creative sense not only preserved but it is getting the promotion as well. Next, rural development. Small scale industry set up in rural areas leads to their development, which may result in the rural reconstruction. दैट मीन्स क्या हो रहा है, रूरल एरिया का नॉट ओनली कंस्ट्रक्शन बट द रिकंस्ट्रक्शन, द होल स्ट्रक्चर हैव बीन क्रिएटेड अगेन, sustained growth and removal of the regional disparity. What is the regional disparity? That means the differences between the people living in the particular area. All these elements have been forgotten about the culture, about the caste, about the creed, but all of them are coming together and executing the economic activity. So somewhere somehow it is also improves the regional parity over the area. The next one, that is the mobilization of local resources. See, small scale industries facilitate mobilization and utilization of local resources which might otherwise remain and unutilized. What does the small scale industry used to do? They used to mobilize or utilize the local resources, the resources that have been not used till right now, है ना, वो resources जो अभी तक यूज नहीं हुए हैं. This helps in tapping resources like entrepreneur skill and small savings, especially in the rural area. And this mobilization of resources or tapping of resources helps in the entrepreneur, in the enhancement of entrepreneur skill, and also facilitate the saving practices in the people who are living in the rural area. So in all, how if we talk about the natural resources, it mobilizes it. If we talk about the human resources, then it mobilizes that also. So it mobilizes the local resources and give them a speed or a momentum about the growth and development. So this is all about the role of small business in the rural area India. Now we are going to the next topic, and the next topic is government assistance and special schemes for the industries in rural, backward and hilly area. What is the meaning of topic? The meaning of topic is that even the government also want that these type of industries must establish in the either rural area or backward and hilly areas. तो गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है बेटा, इन इंडस्ट्रीज़ के रूरल और बैकवर्ड एरियाज में स्टैब्लिश होने के लिए डिफरेंट इंसेंटिव्स प्रोवाइड कर रही है. लेट अस डिस्कस देम. सी, keeping in view the contribution of small scale industry, that is SSI, to employment generation, balanced regional growth and promotion of export, the government of India has formed the various policies and offered various incentives and benefits for the growth and promotion of small scale business at center level as well as state level. Initially, we have discussed about the importance or the role of the small business, and all these roles or importance are very significant. And even the government also come to know about the importance of small scale industries, that is SSI. So, government at the state level as well as at the central level is providing the different incentives for the further enhancement of these industries. Some of the support measures and programs meant for the promotion of small and rural industries are grouped into two categories. Whatever the programs have been, whatever the measures that have been taken by the government are divided into two parts. The first one is the institutional support, that means the support that have been given through certain institutions. मतलब इसका क्या होगा, जो एक बीच में एक पोर्टल होगा and that portal will be the institution. So the support that have been provided through the institution, that is known as the institutional support. And the second one, incentives offered by the government to SSI. These are the incentives that are directly provided by the government to the small scale industries. Let us discuss them one by one. Initially, the institutional support. If we talk about the institutional support, so we are going to discuss about two institutions over here. The very first institution is National Small Industries Corporation, NSIC. Full form can be asked. This was set up in 1955 with a view to promoting and fostering the growth of SSI in the country. So there can be the two questions of 1 mark: when it was established and what was the main motive. So it was established in 1955 with the main motive of promoting and fostering the growth of SSI. And what was the main focus of these institutional support? To supply indigenous and imported machines in the easy installment. Obviously, the machines is needed, although they are needed in the least amount, but still the machines are needed. So these machines must be made available either from the import purpose or for the particular people on the easy installment. Second, to procure and supply raw material. Even they used to supply the raw material smoothly so that the production can be executed without any obstacle and hurdle. Next, to export products of SSI. And what they used to do, they even used to export the product that have been produced by the SSI. Next, to provide advisory and mentoring services. That means if the SSI is needed, they provide advice and mentor them. To provide technological assistance, that means whatever the technological backup is needed, that is to be provided. Next, to develop software technology part and technology transfer as well. All these are the focus point of NSIC. Now the second one, that is the DIC, that is the District Industries Center. The DIC program was started on 1st May 1978 to provide assistance to small scale industries at the district level. This is important to note that it used to work in the district level only. These centers provide all the promotional activities such as identification of suitable scheme. क्या क्या करते हैं आपके लिए, आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं सुटेबल स्कीम को, प्रिपरेशन ऑफ फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट प्रिपेयर करते हैं either on the technological ground, either on the financial ground or on the ground of the profit. Arranging for credit, also they used to help you in providing in arranging the credit, etc. Now if we talk about the incentives offered, this is about the DIC. Now the second one, that was the incentives offered by the government for the industries in rural area. That means the incentive that are directly provided by the government to the small industries. See, after independence, some areas of our country are developing rapidly, whereas some areas remain backward and underdeveloped. But balanced regional growth and development is a must due to reason. If we talk about after independence, so some of the area has a very random and frequent growth, but some of the area remain idle or the underdeveloped. So it initially it is telling what is the need for the balanced regional growth. First, to provide employment opportunity to all the areas so that the employment can be generated and can be provided in all the areas. Next, to develop local skills and resources. Whatever the local skills are there, local resources are there, these resources and skills must be developed. And to restrict the migration of people to the urban area. If every of the rural people or every of the rural individual will migrate to the urban area, then where the rural area will go? It is something questionable. It is something to be think about. Next, to have balanced regional growth and for the development of the rural and backward areas, why all the problems is arising? The problem is arising why the people are migrating, why the people don't want to live in the rural area, is that the rural area is comparatively less developed and the urban area are comparatively more developed. So government is providing some special incentives to the people who are living in the rural, in the backward and in the hilly areas, so that these problem can be solved out in these areas. And what are these benefits or incentives? See, the first one, availability of land in these areas at concessional rate. Land is provided for setting up of the small business in the very concessional rate. Second, location of public sector projects in the backward area. Public sector projects are the projects that are controlled and financed by the either by the state government or by the central government. So even the government is also having the intention, government is establishing its projects in the rural areas, so that it can further create the economic development and employment opportunities over there. Next, establishment of industrial estates in the backward area. That means a complete the area have estate have been created especially for the industrial development, industries development. Next, development of infrastructural facilities such as transport, banking, power supply, etc. Government is providing all these facility, all the infrastructural facility, including the warehousing, including the transportation, including the banking and the power supply, etc. at the very concessional rates. Next, offering tax concession to units located in the backward area, and another grading element is provided that whosoever unit will be established in the rural area will be given concession in the tax or can be given the tax holiday as well. Next, finance at concessional rates to industries set up in these areas. Whatever the finance rate is going on, उससे concessional rate पे क्या करना, finance provide करना किसको, the industries that have been established in the rural area. And the last one, granting subsidies from time to time to some of the subsidies offered are क्या करना, subsidies provide करना. What are the subsidies? Subsidies are the financial assistance or support provided. And what are the different type of incentives, subsidies provided? The very first is the transport subsidy. That means providing the transportation facility on the subsidized, that means the concessional rates. Next, capital subsidy, providing capital or the finance at the concessional rate. And the last one, that is the infrastructure subsidy, providing infrastructural facilities such as warehousing, such as communication at a very concessional rate. So all these are the incentives that have been provided by the government to the small scale industries. This is all about today. What we have discussed, beta? Today we have discussed about the different elements showing the role of small scale industries in the rural India, for the rural India. Thereafter we have discussed about the different assistance that have been provided by the government, and the assistance have been divided into two parts. The first one, institutional, in which we have discussed about NSIC, and the second we have discussed about DICs, and the second was the incentives provided by the government to the small scale industries established in the rural, established in the hilly and the backward area. This is all about today, and this is all about the chapter as well. God bless and lots of love.